Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to welcome everyone to the first virtual meeting of the Public Rights of Way Committee. Before we move to the formal agenda, I have a few procedural housekeeping issues to deal with. This meeting is being held under virtual meeting regulations using Microsoft Teams. Decisions made by the subcommittee will have the same standing and validity as if they have been made at a standard meeting held at the Town Hall. We are streaming today's meeting live on the internet, and a recorded version will be available to view within 48 hours on the North Somerset Council website. Members, would you please ensure that your audio is muted when you are not speaking? When you wish to speak, would you please indicate by using the chat function and do not use the hand signal function? I will invite each of you to speak by way of a queue system. Please only use the chat function to indicate your wish to speak and for official business only. As there are only 5 of us on the subcommittee, please can members leave their videos on. If you are leaving the meeting or returning to the meeting at any point, would you please ensure that I am aware of this by using the chat function? Voting. When proposing a motion, would you please indicate via the chat function that you wish to speak and wait until I invite you to do so. Please then clearly state what you are moving, for example, the recommendation in the report, particularly for the benefit of the public. If you are seconding a motion, please again clearly indicate you wish to speak and wait for me to call you. Where necessary, voting will be on a roll call and each member will be called in turn and asked to state clearly whether they wish to vote for or against the motion or to abstain. At the chairman's discretion, voting on procedural matters such as confirmation of the minutes will be done in reverse order and en bloc. That is, I will ask for votes against the motion first, then abstentions, and all other voting members at the meeting will be taken en bloc as voting for the motion. Are there any questions from members? And can you all see and hear today's proceedings? Please ensure all mobiles are switched off. I will now introduce my fellow councillors and the officers attending. We will now move to the formal agenda. Can I just first of all announce the members who are on this committee today? That is Councillor Anne Harley, who is chairman, Councillor James Tonkin, that's myself, and I'm vice chairman, Councillor Richard Westwood, Councillor Sandra Hearn, who is substituting for Councillor Tim Snaden, and Councillor Robert Payne, who is a regular member. Can I now hand over to the chairman, Councillor Anne Harley?
Thank you very much, Councillor Tonkin, and thank you for doing that. And I apologise for the slight hiccup. So we now move to the agenda, and the first item on the agenda is public participation. Do we have any public participation?
We do, Councillor Harley. If I read the statement by Mr. Eric Sage, are you happy for me to read that now?
Yes, certainly.
Thanks. So this is a statement under public participation by Mr. Eric Sage, a local resident, in regard to agenda item 6, modification 41 Hawthorne Gardens. Mr. Sage says, I would just add just a few points before Public Rights of Way subcommittee on Tuesday, the 24th of November 2020. 17th of November 2020 marked the date of my using this footpath for 48 years as a resident of Hawthorne Gardens. Since the start of the COVID-19 epidemic, the path has been used by numerous people, walkers, runners, and of course dog walkers. The numbers must be in the hundreds over that period. My wife and I have been amazed at the fact that the numbers included people we hadn't seen before, obviously being given knowledge of the path by regular users. With the government concerned about the mental and physical state of the British people, I would suggest that paths and spaces are very beneficial, particularly at a time we are facing at this present moment. That's the end of Mr. Sage's statement, and there are no more items for public participation, Councillor Harley.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Item 2, I think we covered it, but we'll go through it again. Apologies for absence and notification of substitutes. I think we covered that.
Councillor Snaden has sent his apologies. We've covered that. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Right. Number 3, declaration of interest. Pecuniary interest. Anybody? No, I don't think so. Right. The minutes of item 4, 28th of January 2020 to approve as a correct record. Can I take it that we are all in agreement of that?
Yeah, move approval.
Yeah. Right, so that's approved, thank you. So then we move on to item 5 rather, sorry about that. And that's matters referred by council, the executive and other committees, etc., if there are any. Are there any? I don't think so. Right.
None, no? Councillor Harley, yeah. Okay.
Right, so then we go on to item 6.
None, yeah.
That's Mod 41 Hawthorne Gardens, and we just heard a letter in which was read out. So can I ask if Elaine would like to go through this for us?
Yes, my name is Elaine Bowman, Principal Access Officer in the Public Rights of Way team. Good afternoon, councillors. This first report, Mod 41, relates to Hawthorne Gardens, a claimed public footpath running from Hawthorne Gardens through a woodland area to meet up with another footpath. As detailed within the report, there are 27 user evidence forms supporting this application going back many years, and you know the route is actually being used today. It isn't a route that's not, you know, it hasn't been obstructed. The owners of the land haven't taken any action to actually stop people from using it. So the evidence is very strong. As I've detailed in my report, we have tried to you know, sort of liaise with the owners of the land to reach some form of agreement, which, you know, to date hasn't been successful. Having said that, in the last few days, I have had a phone call from the owner of the land, Mrs. Wells, who is extremely distressed on a number of matters, primarily being that she doesn't feel that she has been given sufficient time in order to respond to this report. She doesn't have email. She doesn't have access to YouTube, so she won't be watching in now. And she is actually on what is classed as the clinical extremely vulnerable list. So even if we were having a meeting, she wouldn't be able to be present. She has requested, and I feel it's a fair request, she has requested that I ask the committee to defer making a decision on this report at this meeting, to allow her and her son to try and put something together in writing to be presented to you at the next meeting, which would be in March. I have emphasised to her that, you know, we cannot continue, you know, postponing making a decision upon this, and she is fully aware of that. And she did ask me to, you know, advise the committee. You know, she isn't stalling. It is just she did not feel able to be able to put everything in writing in a matter of days, and to ensure that it was received by us in the post. So, you know, that is what I am requesting, is whether the committee would agree to the matter being deferred to the next meeting.
Well, thank you for that, Chairman. I think that's a reasonable request in the circumstances. What I would say, but I'll share it obviously with the rest of the committee, what I would say, that I think we have to be quite clear, as you've indicated, that we can't keep on deferring it. So we'll leave it until the March one, and then I think a decision will have to be made.
Councillor Harley.
Yes.
Councillor Harley, Councillors Westwood and Tonkin have both indicated they'd like to speak.
Right, so let's go to Councillor Tonkin first then. Oh, sorry about that. Oh dear. So, Councillor Tonkin.
Rock and roll, eh? There.
Oh, I know. That's what's been popular means.
Yes, I was just going to recommend that we defer the item for a cycle, and looking for a second on it. That was all.
Yeah, well, I'm quite happy to second you, but I think that's what we've said. That's a cycle, brings it up to March, doesn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, right. So it's seconded.
And
Councillor Westwood.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. This is really interesting. Just for clarification, the application was originally made in the year 2000, was it?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So has the landowner been approached prior to this in the previous 20 years?
The original application was submitted to the previous owner of the land. But however, when the land was sold, which I believe was in around about 2004, the landowners were made aware of the fact that there was the application had been submitted to the council. Now, when we commenced doing what we call pre-order consultations last year, that was when we made contact with the landowners and supplied them with all the information that they requested of us. But unfortunately, at that time, they haven't sort of been able to sort of reach agreement, shall we say, with ourselves to the point where we felt that negotiations had come to an end. Now the landowner is, like I say, she's more aggrieved about the lack of time that she has had to consider the report that's been written.
Sorry, Elaine, just for absolute clarification, how long has she had to consider the report that's been written?
Well, the process is that we don't advise people until 5 days before the meeting, which,
right.
Yes. So, she has only had a few days.
Yeah.
So in which case her request that it be deferred is very reasonable. So that's fine.
Yes, it is very reasonable.
Yes. Right. Anybody else wanting to speak? No? So we all in favour of it?
No.
You said no. Sandra. Is it Sandra?
Sorry, I was just saying no, that there's no one else to speak, Councillor.
Oh, right.
Harley.
Sorry. So.
Sorry, I should have made that clearer.
No, that's fine. So what's the panel's view then, that we actually defer it for one cycle?
Yes,
that's
defer it.
All right. So that's carried then. Thank you very much. So we move on now to item 7, which is Mod 57 Ruggs Lane, Cleve Secretary of State Direction. So I'll hand you over to Elaine again. Elaine?
Yes.
We all get phone calls. Sorry about that.
Turn it off. Pull the plug out.
Yes, Elaine.
Yes. This report relates to Mod 57 Ruggs Lane in Cleve and the decision of the Secretary of State following an appeal by the applicants. If you will recall, back in September 2018, a report was brought to the PROWS subcommittee relating to this matter. That application was claiming that these routes were ancient bridleways and should be recorded onto the definitive map. The decision of the council was that we should reject the application because there was insufficient evidence to support that application. The applicant then appealed to the Secretary of State via the Planning Inspectorate, a copy of which the decision is attached to your report. That inspector, having evaluated all the evidence that was placed before them, has decided to uphold your decision not to make a bridleway order, but has directed us to make a footpath order over one of the routes. We don't have a choice in this. We have to make the footpath order. However, we do have a choice on what stance we take against that order. Now, as I've said in my report, whilst I may not agree with the inspector, I have no I have nothing strong to fight against the reasoning of the inspector, and therefore, as I've said within the report, what I would like to recommend is that when the legal order is made, that we register against our records that we wish to have the opportunity of objecting should, you know, the suggestion be made that whilst a footpath order has been made, that the status should be higher than a footpath. You know, it is possible that the Bridleway Association will object to the footpath order, you know, arguing their case still that they believe that it should be a bridleway. So, you know, what I am suggesting is that we, you know, that we put on record that we wish the opportunity to be able to object to the order, dependent upon the objections that, you know, that may be received. So if I can refer you to the recommendations where I have said that I'm asking for authority to place on record at the time of the making of the order that North Somerset Council wish to retain the right to oppose any proposal to change the made order following receipt of representations or objections. I've also asked for authority to bring a further report back to the committee detailing the responses received to the making of the order, and at that time you as the committee will be asked to confirm the stance that North Somerset Council wish to take in any forthcoming proceedings. Obviously, if there are no objections made, then I've asked for authority to confirm the footpath order as made.
Thank you, Elaine. Any comments? Anybody wish to speak? No, no, it doesn't appear. I think we've got no choice, actually. I think it's better to have a footpath than what she was going for in the beginning, knowing this lady. So,
Chairman, there is a request.
Sorry, Councillor Harley.
Right, is it Councillor Tonkin wants to speak?
Yes, Councillor Harley.
Councillor Tonkin?
Thank you, Chairman. On the grounds of flexibility, I move officer recommendation.
Seconder?
Yeah, I'll second it.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Richard. And all of us in favour? Yeah. I think everybody's in favour. Thank you. I think we've got lots of things ringing around. I do apologise if it's my machine. And phone's going, so I apologise to you all. Right, we move on to number 8 then, which is Mod 60 Fries Lane to Liquid Farm, Berrington, Secretary of State appeal decision. Elaine, do you want to speak? Tell us about that, update us. I know it's
Yep.
to be noted.
We're going to let Lucy do this one.
All right, Lucy. All right, Lucy.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lucy Rocker. I'm the Access Officer for Definitive Map Modification Orders. This report is to inform you of the Secretary of State appeal decision. We took this to committee in November 2018, which you authorised to reject the application to upgrade the footpath between the 2 restricted byways to a byway open to traffic. The applicants appealed this to the Secretary of State, and the Secretary of State has dismissed this appeal. So this report is just to be noted.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all the work that all of you did. Is everybody in favour for just noting this report? Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So then we move on to Mod 60 Fries Lane, Rickford Farm, Berrington. If I got the right one, hold on. I think we might have done that one, mightn't we? No, I think we're on number 9 now, aren't we? I've lost my track. Sorry, which one are we on now?
Yes,
Number
so
9.
it's,
Number 9.
yeah, yes, moderation 63 Clavering Drove to Kenmore Road.
Yeah. Right. So Elaine, did you want to speak
for
to that?
Elaine, I think is going to present. Yeah.
Yeah, Elaine's going to speak to that one, right?
Right. Once again, this is just a very short report to be noted of another Secretary of State appeal decision. You will remember that this report was brought to the Public Rights of Way subcommittee in April 2019, where the application being that a number of footpaths recorded in this area should be upgraded to bridleways. The committee on that date resolved they should be declined. The applicant once again exercised their right to appeal to the Secretary of State, and as you can see from the decision attached to this report, the Secretary of State dismissed their appeal, agreeing with the committee as to the decision that you had reached, that there wasn't sufficient evidence to support their application. So, as I say, this report is just.
Thank you, Elaine. Any questions? No, I have to say that's good news, isn't it? That we made some right decisions there, 2 of them anyway. So, can I have a proposal that we actually accept this report as noted, please?
Yes, Chairman.
Right, and seconder? It's noted. Thanks, Jane. So all of us are in favour. All in favour. So now we move to item 10, which is urgent business. Have we any urgent business? We've been notified of? No.
No, Councillor Harley.
None. Right. So I think we've almost come to the end of this, but I just wanted to say, I think, Lucy, you're going to be leaving us, aren't you? Sadly.
Yes.
When are you leaving us? When are you
leaving on Friday? Yeah.
Oh, aren't we lucky to see you again? Well, I on behalf of the committee, I mean, I did on behalf of the committee send a few words about you, because we really have appreciated you and all the work that you've done, and I know Elaine and her team are going to miss you greatly. And where are you going?
I'm going to Bridgend County Borough Council.
Oh, are you?
As their DMMO officer.
Oh, right. That's nicer than Weston-super-Mare. No, that's where you're going up a level. I hope you've learnt a lot from North Somerset.
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. Elaine's been a great help as well.
Yes. Well, you've been a great help to us, and wish you all the luck. And do come back and see us. And I know Elaine, I know she's probably upset about you leaving, because I know she's, been very fond of you. And so anyway, let us know how you get on in your career, Lucy.
I will do. Thank you.
You've done really well. You've done really well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think I don't think there's any further business, is there? Anybody got any further business? No? No. Right.
No, Councillor Harley.
Right, that's fine. Well, I shall say thank you very much, and sorry about the technical issues. So, keep well, keep safe, actually. So I say goodbye to you all. Bye-bye.